At the top of the board here, we have the brain waves. We have delta, theta, alpha, and beta. So delta waves are associated with sleep and non-thought or no thought. Theta waves is healing and deep relaxation. Alpha waves is active problem solving. That's how I interpret alpha waves, is just active problem solving. And then beta waves, if your brain is in a beta state, it's a heightened external focus. Now, the brain waves are measured in something called hertz. And a hertz is the number of cycles per second. So we have a wave above this definition here in red, and it's moving left to right. And if there were 1, 2, 3, 4 of these waves that pass through this point in 1 second, that would be 4 hertz, which would be a theta wave. Okay, so anxiety can be caused by high beta waves, low alpha waves, low theta, and low delta waves. Okay, so that's basically a nutshell of the brain waves and how they're measured and what frequency they exist at. Okay, so down here we have blood vessels. So I have a blood vessel here that's more contracted and a blood vessel here that's more dilated. So this is my opinion, okay? At this point, this is my opinion. So the blood vessels that are more contracted have to push the blood harder through these blood vessels. And it's my belief that when blood moves through a blood vessel, the blood vessel wall oscillates in and out. That is my opinion. And it's also my opinion that the more constricted the blood vessel, the faster the oscillation of the blood vessels. So now imagine these constricted blood vessels running all through our brain, causing these faster oscillations of blood vessel walls, which would cause a higher frequency, which would associate to the higher brainwave functions like alpha or beta. Conversely, if our blood vessels in our brain were more dilated, they would oscillate slower. The blood vessel walls will oscillate in and out slower, creating a lower brainwave frequency. Okay, so that is I'm being very clear that this is my opinion, how we can induce brainwave functions. So with a contracted blood vessel, with my opinion about them, the blood vessel walls oscillating in and out, creating a higher frequency in the brain, these vasoconstrictors like caffeine, cocaine, and amphetamines would cause blood vessel contraction, which feeds into my theory that they would create higher brainwave frequencies like beta if they're taking over time or high amounts. Conversely, we have vasodilators here that include Valium, alcohol, heroin, and morphine. And it's my opinion that these dilated blood vessels would cause a lower brainwave frequency like theta, delta, and even lower ends of alpha. So my opinion here with stimulants is that they cause the constriction of the blood vessels to the point where we get stuck in these high beta states over long periods of time, and we cannot normalize our brainwave function. And that would go with really any drug that we take over long periods of time, in my opinion. But in terms of anxiety and stress, I believe it's the vasoconstrictors like caffeine, cocaine, and amphetamines, when taken over long periods of time or in high doses, would cause a constriction of blood vessels in the brain, contributing to these higher brainwave frequencies where we get caught in these higher brainwave functions and we can't reset to delta and theta. So that is my conjecture. My conjecture is that these vasoconstrictors, again, create these higher brain waves that eventually lead to anxiety because we cannot normalize our brainwave frequency over periods of time, and it leads to a condition of anxiety. So my recommendation is for caffeine, take 1 cup in the morning if you need it, and then just kind of get through the day without it, a second or third cup if you can do it.